What did you think your coochie was gonna do instead of bleed? Karaoke? Like, what? Hey guys, it's Sharon. Welcome back to my channel. It is that time of the month, y'all. And yes, I quite literally do mean that time of the month. Once a month, every single month, like a period, spoiler alert, I post period horror stories. And I like to give it a little theme. So for this month, we're doing your first period horror stories because it's a very common trend. I don't know about you, but like my first period, I thought I was dying. And I have noticed I'm not the only one. So go grab your snacks, go grab your tea, go grab your pads and your tampons, and subscribe if you haven't also, and turn on your post notifications and go binge more episodes of the series. But let's get into this. So it was a school trip to the theater in 6th grade. The seats that we sat on were very comfy and white. The moment I stood up, my classmate, a boy, shouted, "Ew, Lily got her period and it's all over the white seats." I was so embarrassed that I had to move schools. I hate to be this person, but like, good for him for knowing what a period was. He's so ahead of his time. In a lot of these stories, it's usually something like, OMG, she's dying, versus like them knowing it was a period. So I mean, like, you know, your uterus does feel like it's dying. So kind of close, but not quite. Good for him for knowing, not good for him for embarrassing sis so bad that she had to change schools. That's insane. Honestly, if you have a period leak, period stain, own it and make whoever is making fun of you look and feel like a fool for laughing at a natural bodily function that you literally cannot control. I would have been like, ew, Joey making fun of periods? You wouldn't even last an hour with one. Gross. Boom. Roast it. That'll teach you to laugh at periods again. I was in 5th grade and it was picture day. I was wearing my fave black dress and started my period. I didn't even know I started my period until my teacher had to tell me. Luckily, no one could see the stain because the dress was black, but rip to my fave black dress. Honestly, if I were unprepared and I got my period randomly, I would hope to get it while wearing something black because no one would know. The catch is I wouldn't either, but still, that's better than wearing white. As for period stains, they do come out. You can just scrub with soap or use hydrogen peroxide. Don't use hot water though, because it sets and stains. The only tricky part is like being able to actually see if the stains came out of a black dress because it's so dark. But honestly, if it's clean and it's dark, how would they know? I'd still be wearing that dress, especially if it was my favorite. I got my period at my stepdad's house around Christmas and my mom wasn't home, so he had to go out and buy me pads and attempted to teach me from the other side of the door how to put one on. This is such a great stepdad. And I feel like that's almost like the bare minimum, like, yay, you bought me pads, thanks, but hear me out. The fact that he didn't just buy period supplies and was like, okay, here you go, good luck, have fun, because periods make me awkward and embarrassed for some reason. At least he was right there on the other side with them, literally. It is a pretty horrible Christmas present though, like, happy holidays, here's your first period. Thanks, sis, I would have actually preferred coal. I put the pad on backwards, then started complaining about how much it hurt to my mom. Good thing she taught me the right way to put it on after. At first I was like, it doesn't matter if you put on a pad backwards. The front can be the back just as long as it's collecting blood. And then I realized that they mean the other side, as in they put it on backwards with the sticky side. So they were using the pad like a band-aid. They were trying to seal their coochie like a bleeding wound. And honestly, it is an understandable mistake. Definitely not how it works, but I can't imagine how much that would hurt to take off. Like if you have pubes especially, it's like a free wax though. Yeah, no guys, the sticky side, that's so it sticks to your underwear. The more you know. I got my first period during school spirit week and we usually wear a uniform with black pants, but for some reason I decided to wear neon green leggings. It looks like I pooped myself because it was just the brown discharge. That is tragic. I would rather have a red stain than a brown stain because you can't hold in your period, but you can attempt to hold in your poop, right? It's also just so much easier to make bullies feel bad for making fun of you for a bodily function you can't control. Like, sis, you really making fun of a period right now? Really? That's not very soul sister girly pop Barbie of you to do. Poop though? Good luck, Charlie. My best friend got her first period. We were doing period/sex education in science class, and literally the day before we had gotten period kits, and she had thrown hers onto the light/chandelier and had to get a ladder to get it down. Yeah, if that's not karma, I don't know what is. You're telling me someone gifted you period supplies and you yeeted them. Mother Nature said, hold my purse, I'm on my way. Period supplies add up, y'all. They are not free. If they are, if you live in a country where they are, that must be nice. Even if you don't have your period at the time, it's not like you're never gonna get your period and use them, right? Or it's not like you don't know another person that has a period that could use them. This is a very weird thing to do, not gonna lie. And this is exactly why what goes around comes back around. I got my first period at my first ever sleepaway camp. They wouldn't let me call my mom, so I was distraught the whole time. It got worse when I got home from the sleepaway week because I was being baptized that weekend. We did full immersion in my church and I never used tampons before and found it way too painful. I got into the little pool where they dunk you. I was wearing a pad, and when I got out after being dunked, I saw little clots of blood floating all around the little pool. It was the most embarrassing week of my whole life up until that point. How are you, first of all? How are you not gonna let me talk to my family, especially when something as monumental as getting my first period happens? No, sis, that was not camp. They were hostages. Like, what was that? And then go from being a hostage to a bloody baptism. The people at church probably thought a demon just got expelled from her body in that holy water. That'd be great marketing material. They're probably turning into a Netflix doc right now. Kind of iconic when you really think about it. This is definitely why we don't use pads when going into water. But you know, you live and you learn and you get traumatized, and you traumatize people at church with your bloody baptism water. Checks out. When I first got my period, I went to my mom to ask her if it was blood, and instead of taking me to the bathroom to look, she pulled my pants down in front of my dad to look. Girl, what? Excuse you? That is so weird, messed up, and disrespectful. Imagine your mom pantsing you in front of others like a bully. Nah, you gotta pants her back. Dad's already seen it though, so like wait until you have other guests over and then pants her. No, I'm too petty for this. You wanna play, mom? Let's go. Listen, do not be afraid to speak up and tell someone that you didn't like what they did to you, even if they are your parents. This is violating. It is just so messed up. Tell your mom that wasn't cool, even if it's years later. I got my first period at school. My pants were soaked, and so I made a makeshift pad out of toilet paper. However, I didn't make the toilet paper thick enough, so it still bled through. I went home after school that day and told my mom what happened, and she said she put pads in my backpack because she had a feeling I was gonna start because I was having a lot of cramps for the past week, but she didn't tell me because she didn't think I was gonna start that day. How was I supposed to know that I had pads the entire time if you didn't tell me you put them in my bag, Mom? Was I just supposed to look inside my bag and wish that pads would magically appear, and then somehow pads would magically appear at the bottom of my bag? Be for real. Is this a nice gesture? Yes, of course. But a heads up would have been nice. It would have been nicer. Something as simple as, hey, you've had cramps. You might get your period. I put some pads in your bag. But no, instead I was left to panic and bleed through everything. Thanks, Mom. You tried though. Like, I'll give you that. You really did try. But how was it supposed to help me if I didn't even know it was there to help me? I got my period and I wanted to try tampons, so I used one and I tried to put it in, but it felt weird and I started to get lightheaded. Then I passed out. Tampon fell in the toilet and I hit my head on the tub. You're telling me this isn't a script from a silly, chaotic cartoon? This is so unreal. The universe really said, nah, sis, you are not trying tampons today and I will you before you do. This was a murder attempt by a tampon? Yes, that tampon tried to end me, Your Honor. If you didn't believe in signs, I would definitely believe in them after this. Yeah, never touching another tampon after that. Thanks, universe. Could have gone a less violent approach about warning me, but okay. I used a super tampon when I was barely bleeding because I thought S meant small. Ouch. This is so valid because why are tampon sizes like that? L means light, not large. S means super, not small. And instead of medium, you give us regular? We couldn't just use small, medium, large, extra large, like literally everything else? Just gotta complicate it, make things harder for us. Yep, why not? Love that for us. Honestly, like, petition to change tampon sizes names. Thumbs up to sign the petition. I got my first period at school and I asked the female teacher if I could go to the bathroom. She said no. I proceeded to tell her I had gotten my period that day and I had to change the pad. She went forward and told the whole class about how I was making excuses just so I could use the bathroom, and proceeded to tell me how it wasn't her problem and that the boys weren't getting any excuses and therefore even the girls will not get any. And I was so pissed that no one did anything about it. I too would be very pissed because imagine thinking human biology is an excuse. Yeah, it's almost like the ones with the penis don't have a period excuse because they don't have uteruses to bleed from in the first place. Huh, funny how that works. How is she a teacher? This is literally the most basic of knowledge one can have about the human bodies. Honestly, the way way I would leave that room and come back with the bloody toilet paper in my hand and be like, is this an excuse for you yet, teach? But who will think of the boys that aren't bleeding? It's giving major pick me vibes. Congrats. I hope the underage boys picked you, teach. Hater. I was bleeding at school and some girls saw the blood on my seat and they followed me into the bathroom, and after I came out of the stall, they told me to go to the nurse and she gave me a pad. I really thought this was going to go a much worse way than it did, and I'm so happy that it didn't, because I'm over here anticipating these girls followed me into the bathroom, and then when they found out I had a period, they started bullying me and making fun of me, and I was truly holding my breath for it, and I was preparing my speech about how we should all support each other, and thank goodness that's exactly what these girls did. This is what we love to see, and this is what we need to see more of, actually. Like, bullies that make fun of people that have bleeding vaginas as people that also have bleeding vaginas. What did you think your coochie was gonna do instead of bleed? Karaoke? Like, what? I was building a snowman with my 8-year-old cousin, and next thing you know, there was blood in the snow. At 10 years old, I didn't know what a period was. When my cousin asked, I thought I was dying. I ran to my bathroom and locked the door and just cried for 3 hours. If you didn't think you were dying when you first got your period, did you actually get your first period? Or are you lucky that you were educated on periods in the first place? Hopefully by me even. Poor little cousin probably thinks their older cousin and the snowman are dying. This kid just experienced so much trauma in 2 minutes. Rumor has it they are still out there in the snow going through the 5 stages of grief. Or even worse, what if they think their older cousin murdered the snowman? Or the snowman, their older cousin. The plot thickens. Anyways, girlhood is crying on the toilet because of your period. Changed my mind. I bathed and forgot my pad in the bathroom. My brother was showering next and he came into my room and asked if I was the one who left the bloody handkerchief. I was so embarrassed. Mind you, I had it wrapped up, so he must have opened it. All the way from Kenya, I have been for you since you started. Love you. Oh, sending some hugs to Kenya. Thanks for sticking around and I love you too. Now your brother. I mean, serves him right for being nosy and opening up stuff that doesn't belong to him. Like, maybe you did deserve to find a bloody pad because you're going through stuff that's not yours. Even worse would be if he went digging in the trash for it, question mark. Yeah, again, this is why we don't open things that aren't ours, because it could be someone's old dirty used pad. I bet he did learn his lesson that day though, that's for sure. I got my first period when I was about 9 years old. I didn't know what it was and my mom didn't find out until it was almost over. I didn't stain. I just thought I was slowly dying and that it was my urinary system decaying. You know, to be fair, it kind of is like your uterus is trying to end itself. Like, she's so mad that you're not pregnant, that she's throwing a hissy fit and shedding herself. So yeah, it's a valid thought. And the fact that she's so dramatic to the point that she does it every single month, like, girl, get a new hobby, please. You should be proud that we're not pregnant. You want me to be 9 years old with a baby on the way? Come on. Unbelievable. My uterus needs a job. Do not say being pregnant. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up. If you have your first period horror story that I sadly did not get to share today, but you would like to share with us, please do so in the comments below. And if you want to see more episodes of this, I have an entire playlist that you can binge, and there will be more episodes to come in the future because this happens once a month, every single month, kind of like a period. It's almost like I did that on purpose. If you're also new to periods or you haven't gotten a period yet, but you would like to prepare for it, I have a playlist just for you too. It's kind of like a start here, like your guide to periods. I got you, sis. Definitely go check those out. Now, shout out of the day goes to, I do not want to butcher your name, Tanmoyi on Instagram. I hope I said that right. Please correct me if I didn't. If you would like to be shout out of the day, just follow me on my Instagram and stay active. And also hit your girl up on TikTok. That's where you get a bunch more bonus content as well. So if you haven't subscribed yet, you should totally do that. I'll wait. Anyways, I love you. I hope you don't get your period randomly and unexpectedly. And if you do, I hope you're wearing black. All that being said, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.